Okay guys, so I want to go over the test, and I'm going to go over the test through each type of learning target. So the first learning target that we're going to go over is, I can describe the interactions of different elements. So when looking at question number 1, it says chemical bonds that form when electrons are shared are considered covalent bonds. Number 2, elements identified as metals such as sodium and potassium tend to donate their electrons. So that's letter C. We're going to go over specific examples of both covalent and ionic bonds, so that I want to make sure that you understand that. You understand both the different types of bonds and the differences between the bonds. In number 3, in the chemical reaction C6H12O6 plus O2 yields water plus CO2 plus energy. The reactants and products are, and here's the chemical equation here. So the chemical equation again is the glucose plus the oxygen yields water plus CO2 plus energy. Now, this is going to be your reactants. Okay. We know that they're going to be the reactants because it's to the left side of the arrow. If it's to the left side of the arrow, then that means that you're going to have reactants. It's to the right side of the arrow, that means that you're going to have products. So these right here are going to be your products. So in other words, these are interacting together in order to form all these different substances. Now, do not forget this energy, because energy is formed whenever this occurs, because we're breaking down glucose, we're taking in oxygen, and then we're releasing not only water and CO2, but energy as well. Now, in question number 4, what type of chemical bond is formed below? Now, this is going to be Na plus Cl yields NaCl. So this is basically what we have in terms of salt. So we know that this is going to be an ionic bond because sodium has 1 valence electron. Chloride has 7 valence electrons. So the question you have to ask yourself is, sodium only has 1. Is it easier for them to get rid of this 1, or is it easier for them to gain 7? Because all elements want to gain 8 electrons. It's called the octet rule. They want to fill their electron shell. Of course, unless you're hydrogen or helium, lithium or boron, any of those ones where they only actually have 1 or 2 shells. So if they have only 1 or 2 shells, then it works a little bit different in terms of whether or not they want 8 or if they want 2. So in terms of sodium here, we have our 1 valence electron. So it's a lot easier for them to be able to get rid of this 1 as opposed to gain 7. So they're going to get rid of this 1, and now chloride is going to have 8. Okay? So that means that this is going to be considered, again, an ionic bond. Now, on the last question, it says, what type of bond is formed between carbon and oxygen? So, if you look at a periodic table, carbon has 8 valence electrons. Okay? Oxygen has 6 valence electrons. So we'll use red to represent the oxygen valence electrons. So if you see here, carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it shares with oxygen, it has 6 now. Oxygen has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and since it shared 2 more electrons with carbon, it's going to be complete. Now, carbon's not complete because it only has 6, so we're going to have to add another oxygen in. So we're going to fill this in with the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we have 8 valence electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for oxygen. So oxygen is filled, both oxygens are filled, so now we have to ask our question, is carbon filled? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, carbon is filled. So this is where we have CO2. Okay, thanks for watching this video.